Welcome to the Beyond the Years podcast, a podcast about all things Disney.
You're listening to episode 28. Today we're going to be talking about the new Disney Plus miniseries or a series of shorts.
Yep.
I am Groot. And then we also have a couple of other things we wanted to talk about first. So do you have any pieces of news that you want to discuss before I kind of go on my spiel?
So this Thursday is the premiere of She-Hulk, and most of the critics have already seen the first 4 episodes.
Really?
Yep. So, so far, the people that I follow, that I enjoy, have loved the show. Say it's a blast and hilarious. That it's pretty fast paced, but the cameos apparently have been amazing so far. The cast seems amazing. It's like a really funny humor show. So
that's awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
I have Thursday off this week, so I will get to watch it whenever I want on Thursday.
I'll be watching it at 5 o'clock when I wake up. So I can make sure we watch it.
I will still be asleep on my day off at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So
I just try to watch it before I go to work so I can think about it all day.
Okay. Anything else?
Not really.
That's kind of like the big one. We've been talking about it for
like over a month.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much since Thor, Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super excited. Yeah, I'm don't know what's going to happen in this show, but I'm like so pumped for it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be good as well.
I think this is like one of the most anticipated I've like felt for a Disney Plus show beyond like Loki and Moon Knight.
I think I was super excited for WandaVision, but I don't think I was this excited.
Yeah. It just looks so good.
Yeah, definitely. More on that later.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So what else you got? Anything?
Not a whole lot. I've kind of been off of, we were at Topeka this last week for the NHRA drag races with my work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd pretty much have been off all social media for the most part and like comic book news and everything. So the past like 4 or 5 days haven't even been on like my phone hardly.
Yeah, it's been weird for me too, because prior to that 3-day racing weekend, I was on a 7-day work stretch, and I worked pretty much 10-hour shifts. So 7 days straight. And then we went straight to Topeka Friday morning after dropping off Grayson, essentially. So neither of us have really been on social media that much.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been on our phones in the fact of like checking in on Grayson and recording videos of the drag races.
Yeah, that was the extent.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, well, I have really just one big thing that I wanted to talk about today. This is Disney World news. I don't know if I would qualify it as news. It's just information about something that's going on right now. So Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party started on August 12th, which was just a few days ago, and is going to be running through Halloween on October 31st. So I just wanted to kind of give everyone just a very quick synopsis of what that entails. So it is a special ticketed event, which means you have to pay per person per ticket to get into the event. Adults are going to range from $119 per ticket to $179 per ticket. The closer you get to Halloween, the more expensive the tickets are, essentially. Children are a little bit cheaper, but not really. So the event runs from 7 p.m. to midnight, but you will have access starting at 4 p.m. Essentially, I mean, it's just like a Halloween party, which is super fun. You can dress up in costume. You get to go trick-or-treating at Magic Kingdom. They've got a whole separate area that's like blocked off.
So the park's like practically closed just for this?
No, I believe it's like a certain area of the park.
Oh.
Because it's running from 7 p.m. to midnight. I think normal park hours, I believe, are until 9. I haven't looked at a calendar for park hours, but I would assume till about 9 or 10 for normal park hours. So this is going to be, that's a really great question, actually. I didn't check in to see if they were closing the park early. They might because you have to pay extra. It would show up on a calendar. Like if you're planning a trip and you're not going to this event, it would show up theoretically like on one of their calendars that they're going to be closing Magic
What time
Kingdom early.
did you say it started at?
It starts at 7, but you can get in there at 4.
What time do the parks normally close? At 9?
Yeah, that's what I just said, like 9 or 10.
Oh, then yeah, I bet they're closing early then.
So you can dress up in costume. You do have to follow their guidelines. So there's information on their website about the guidelines for costumes. And then there's going to be a Halloween parade. They've got their special fireworks show. You can go trick-or-treating. There's the Dapper Dans are dressed up as like corpses. The Dapper Dans are like the guys who are normally in like red and white striped shirts, vests or whatever, and they're always like singing at random.
Yeah.
They're dressed up differently as corpses. So it's just very heavy on the Halloween theming, but keeping it fun and light and not scary, as opposed to Universal Studios, which does very scary stuff over there. That is not my vibe. I would definitely be terrified. But this is not a Universal podcast. This is a Disney podcast. So last year they did Boo Bash, which this is replaced Boo Bash. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Oh.
So anyway, if you are going to Disney World and you're planning a trip within the next 2 months, there is still availability on select nights for this event. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to update everyone on.
So with the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, starting, what'd you say, August 12th?
Yeah, so it was 4 days ago it started.
So does this Halloween theming start from pretty much that point?
Yes, they've decorated the park. It's like pumpkins everywhere.
Yeah. Because that's what it was when we went in 2018. It was pumpkins everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was in the beginning of
it's super
September.
Fun. Prior to researching this event a little bit, I never really cared about going to a special ticketed event at Disney World. But after reading more about this one, I think that it would be kind of fun to go to a special ticketed event. Whether it be this one or a Christmas event coming up, which I'll probably let everyone know when that comes up. But I think it would be fun to go. Not that we will, but it would be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to do a Christmas one. Well, I want to go to Disney at Christmas time.
One day.
Or like during the Christmas... I was going to say Christmas themed, but I couldn't spit it out. During that like era, Christmas themed, I think it'd be super fun. Because when we went for Halloween, I was like, oh wow, everything's like pumpkin and like Halloween. But it's not like trashy Halloween in your face crap, like what you do in your home kind of thing. But
what are you talking about?
What?
Like Halloween decorations?
Yeah, when like some people take it overboard.
Okay, I love Halloween, so.
Well, I like Halloween, but some people take like the Halloween decoration like way overboard.
Okay, I kind of agree with you. But Disney does Christmas super over the top. They have amazing trees, lights.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I want over the top Christmas, but not over the top Halloween.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about I Am Groot. So it has been a week.
A week tomorrow.
Since it dropped.
Yep.
A week tomorrow for us.
Yeah.
So a week since it's dropped, and give me some of your overall thoughts, or tell us a little bit about the what is it? A mini series? What is it?
I mean, it's shorts. There's 5 different shorts. So we'll just go through each episode. I'll give like a small synopsis of each episode.
Okay.
So, episode 1 is called Groot's First Steps, and it's Baby Groot discovers he's not the only plant being pampered aboard his spaceship. A happy accident convinces Groot to try taking his first steps out of his pot, only to learn you have to walk before you can run. And that's like a 3-minute long episode.
Yeah. So we were kind of thinking beforehand, or at least I was, that they were going to be a little bit longer than they were, but most of them were around that 3-minute mark, which is fun when you have a toddler, because that's about how long their attention span is.
Yeah. But annoying at the same time, because as soon as the 3 minutes is over, he's like, I want to watch again. Or another one.
Yeah. So this first short, Groot's First Steps, is this the one they were talking about regarding like this Groot was not the same Groot that died?
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Okay. So everyone on Twitter had like freaked out and like, James Gunn, explain like Groot to us. So the Groot that we got in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 that sacrificed himself at the end, he is dead. And what Rocket picked up and planted is pretty much his offspring. So that would technically be Groot's son, which is just another Groot, because all the Flora Colossi, that's what the species is called, they're all just Groot. There's nothing else. They're just Groots.
Which that was, I don't think that was clarified until these shorts came out.
I think it was, but I think people just thought like, oh, it's just Groot when he was a child kind of thing.
Yeah. But
technically it is Groot just as a child, just not
the Groot that died.
Volume 1 Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but.
Yeah. So this Groot, I mean, he's a little bit more like rambunctious and ornery. Mm-hmm. And even like the teenage Groot is a little bit more of a brat.
Yeah.
That you see in like Endgame and like Infinity War. So, and I heard that in the Volume 3 trailer, he is even larger than OG Groot.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And like different shaped. So like this Groot's got more of like a roundish kind of face. Mm-hmm. I guess this one has a more roundish kind of face.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so what was episode number 2 called?
Episode number 2 is Groot's. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called The Little Guy. And the synopsis for it is, it's hard to be the little guy, but when Baby Groot accidentally uncovers a civilization of miniature blue aliens, the tables are turned.
Okay, so I'm going to say this about like 3 of the episodes, but I freaking loved this episode. It was so hilarious.
Yeah.
Or short. What am I supposed to call it? I keep wanting to say episode.
I mean, technically it is an episode, but it's a short.
Okay, so I loved the short. This was hilarious. All of them are funny. I have never been a person that really cared that much about Groot. Just really didn't. I think Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy was funny, and we all thought he was cute, but I didn't really care about him that much. But these shorts really made me like him. He's just so funny. And I love the different viewpoints of this short, from like the perspective of Groot and then the perspective of the little aliens.
Yeah.
They were just hilarious.
Yeah. So I can't remember what they're actually called, but they are actually like a comic. It's not just like something James Gunn made up, like all these little blue aliens.
That is so funny.
So from what I read, these little blue aliens, when they're exposed to sunlight, they advance super fast, which makes sense because when you first uncovers them, they're throwing like these like slingshot rocks, and then it's like Groot's like, and then they start shooting him with like laser gun,
yeah.
And then they come at him with like a drone army.
Yeah.
So it was like reading that and then actually watching it again, I was like, oh, that's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's been a few days since I watched the shorts. I need to watch them again.
Yeah. So, so yeah, I didn't know about that until I read that, and I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. That he even like thought, oh, let's get these little blue people, these little blue aliens, and do this to them.
Yeah, the shorts are like totally random, but they just somehow work.
Yeah, and I think it works too because originally everyone thought that these weren't going to be connected to the Guardians of the Galaxy, like between Volume 1 and Volume 2. But if you're watching the MCU, these would definitely fit in between Volume 1 and 2 because it shows the Milano before the Milano was blown up or destroyed.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Just something interesting.
Yeah. Okay. What is number 3 called?
This one is called Groot's Pursuit. Baby Groot investigates a spooky noise that's been haunting the Quadrant, a massive Ravager ship that he calls home.
Have I seen this one?
He's dancing like with a blue or like a water monster thing.
Oh, yes. So my mom and her husband came over, and up until that point I hadn't seen all of them. I had seen like 2 of them a couple of times, and we were watching all of them in apparently no specific order. And then on this episode or this short, we watched like the first minute, and then everyone kind of lost interest because we had been sitting watching all of the ones previously. So I don't think I've actually watched this one all the way start to finish. And it's only 3 minutes, but
it's kind of funny. It's probably my least favorite one, but it's still kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of skip that one because that one's kind of my least favorite. So episode 4 is called Groot Takes a Bath.
Oh my God.
And this one's my favorite episode.
This is my favorite too. It's so good.
So when Groot's bath, what the heck is that? Oh, when Groot's bath concoction results in epic leaf growth, he takes his haircut into his own hands and gets intensive with styling.
So basically he gets in this mud bath in this beautiful oasis area.
Yeah.
And he's kind of having like a little spa experience, and he dozes off, and then when he wakes up, he's like a bush.
Yeah.
Basically. And he kind of freaks out at first, and then he's like, oh, I like it. And then he like he kind of like shapes the bush, I guess. And then it kind of dies.
Yep.
And falls off, and then he goes back into the mud bath and like puts more mud on a specific area, and then the bush kind of grows wherever he put the mud, and then he like just styles it, and then it falls off, and he does that over and over and over again. And this whole time there is this little creature.
Yeah, it's like a bird squirrel mix, and it says
like
that
a rainbow bird squirrel.
Yeah.
And it is getting like pissed off because he's being loud and being distracting, and you can tell like it's progressively getting more annoyed. And so towards the end of the episode, Groot goes back to get more mud, and it's dried up, like he's used all of it. And this bird
is
squirrel
laughing.
Creature is like laughing hysterically. Oh my God. That was so on point. That was, in case you're wondering, that was a sound effect that Josh literally just made with his mouth. That's crazy. Oh my God. The accuracy. Anyway, so this bird squirrel creature is like laughing hysterically, and the next thing we see is like Groot got its pelt or its fur like wrapped around his neck like a scarf, and then this little creature is naked in the tree hole, like shivering and like just shaking. Hilarious. This was such a good episode.
Yeah,
it's the one that I've seen the most.
Yeah, it's so freaking funny. And also too, like, we're exploring these, like, we're just seeing like snippets of these worlds that we've never seen before.
Yeah, I want to go to that place, wherever it was.
Yeah, And it's like, what are the other Guardians doing while Groot's just chilling out by the ship and kind of doing his own thing?
Seems like they're just used to letting him explore and not actually paying attention to him.
Yeah.
He's very mischievous.
Yeah. And that's what I said earlier. Like, this is a totally different Groot than like the Volume 1 Groot, which I think is great. So episode 5 is called Magnum Opus. And this one synopsis is: Groot sets out to paint a family portrait of himself and the Guardians and goes to great lengths to collect art supplies and forge his masterpiece. And this is probably my second favorite episode.
I agree.
Because Rocket's in it, and I love Rocket.
Yeah, and this episode, I've never really cared about Rocket that much, but this episode made me like Rocket even more, especially when he like put his glasses on to like look at the picture that Groot had made.
Yeah.
And I just love that whole moment.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
So like Groot's like the first scene that you get is him like with a backpack, and it's actually Peter Quill's backpack that he got abducted from Volume 1 when he was a kid. So Groot's like lugging this backpack around, and he gets an Alf comic and he tears it up, and then you see him going into where Rocket's sleeping, and he clips his tail hair. And then at the end of the episode, Rocket's like, "Wait a second, is that my tail hair?" And he like falls through that hole. Just Bradley Cooper as Rocket. Like, that voice is just absolutely freaking perfect, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That is a really great episode again. But
yeah, the whole episode is just Groot painting and just being mischievous. He blows a hole in the ship, and the fire alarms start going off, and that's why Rocket comes to investigate. But funny. Yeah,
I agree.
Also, the picture shows OG Groot instead of...
Yes, that was a big ordeal.
Yeah, that's what started the whole Groot conversation. Like, is this the original Groot? And James Gunn also said that, like, this Groot retains some of the memory from the OG Groot, but he didn't relive it. He just kind of like a dream, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so if you had to rate the episodes, what would your rating be?
Oh, like my favorite episodes? I'm gonna say 4, 5, 2, 1, 3.
You said 4, 5, 2, 1, 3?
Yeah.
I 100% agree. That's exactly what my ranking would be.
Yeah.
As well. So for the people who are listening today, I would love if you would let us know via Instagram or commenting on YouTube what your favorite short is and why.
Yeah.
Or just like your ranking of the shorts.
Yeah. And if you enjoyed them. I loved it.
I did too. I was like, just some things are just like so heavy, you know, and it's like some things are just such a time commitment. But I loved that this was like, there's 5 shorts.
It literally takes like 20 minutes out of your day.
Yeah, 20 minutes, and you can watch all 5 of them, and it's great.
Yeah.
So really nice to have something super light and easy and not time consuming to watch. But back to what I was saying, the best way to communicate with us is via Instagram or YouTube comments.
Yeah.
And then we try to do a post pretty much every time we upload a podcast. And if we don't do a post about the podcast, we definitely do it
on a story
in our stories on Instagram, because I typically will post a picture of the thumbnail to let everyone know like a new podcast is live. Anyway.
Yeah. So along the lines with the like short, like 3-minute thing, I think it'd be fun to get like a lot of different MCU stuff that's like 3 minutes long like that, or like 5 minutes long. And also Bluey, which we've been watching a lot of lately.
Yeah.
They're only like 6 or 7 minute episodes.
I love Bluey.
I know, right?
And yeah.
And it's Disney, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I first heard about Bluey from the Tim Tracker on YouTube. Their son, Jackson, is almost exactly the same age as Grayson, and he watches Bluey. And I actually was watching one of their videos today on my lunch, and they had talked about how sometimes Jackson will have like a little Australian accent. Like some of their viewers have recognized that sometimes he has a little bit of an Australian accent, and it's because they watch Bluey.
That's hilarious.
But we love Bluey, and it's super fun, and it's a show that like makes you feel good as a parent, or is super relatable as a parent. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. The relatability is crazy. Like the episode that we were watching earlier, and it's Bandit, and he meets us. They're at the park, and it's Bandit and Bluey, and then another dad, another like little girl. And like they're like, we need customers for the supermarket. And they're like, Dad. And they both like make the dad sit at this table. Neither one know each other. And they're like, hey, mate, how you doing? It's just like the relatability is so there.
Yeah. And you also get I was not prepared to like deep dive on Bluey whatsoever. But just to point out a couple of things, you get from the perspective of the kids, but also from the perspective of the parents. So there are episodes that you see Bluey or
Bingo,
especially I feel like you've probably watched more than I have with Grayson. But I remember one episode in particular with Bingo, and she was wanting her dad to look at something outside, like on the tree or whatever, and he was busy doing something, and you got to see how much that like affected her attitude, and like it was really sad for her that he was busy, and the dad eventually like kind of figured it out. But it's just like, it just goes to show like literally any little thing can have that impact on your kid.
Yeah.
And it's, no one wants to bear that weight, but also like you get to see that, and you also get to see like good parenting and how the parents respond and react, and but they're like real, you know. I mean, obviously it's about Australian cattle dogs.
Yeah, shout out to Blue Heelers, because that's so amazing. I feel like a dog that always gets shit on.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
And these are the stars of the show.
Yeah, you grew up with Blue Heelers.
Yeah. We had 3 different Blue Heelers, and then my sister still has one, so we love those dogs.
Little Rocky.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I enjoy when we watch a Bluey the most, because it doesn't make me feel like a piece of shit parent because we're watching TV. Because I feel like I'm like learning something about how to be a good parent.
Yeah, no joke.
And it makes
That's
me feel
definitely
like,
how
it
I
makes
feel.
me feel like I have a friend who's like I can like talk to about it, because I'm like watching them, and they're struggling through some of the same things that I'm struggling through as a parent, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the mom will choose to do X, Y, or Z instead of what Bluey and Bingo want, and it's like I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, it's super relatable, and also like the voice cast, like I always say this, but like they've picked like the perfect like voices for these people or for these characters. And Bluey and Bingo, like the little voices are like so like giddy and like happy. It's cute. It's just super cute.
They're super cute.
And I saw a post the other day, and it said, it's sad that in a couple years we won't ever have Bluey anymore, because the little girl will be like grown up past like her like little girl voice.
I thought you were going to say because the show has been moderated so much from its original version.
Oh.
This is coming from the Tim Tracker, so they, like I said, watched the show, and it's an Australian show.
Yeah.
Some of their subscribers have commented that the new American version is much more like modified than the Australian version. Like it's
what am
I trying to say?
No, you're right. It's filtered. Like one of the episodes.
I'm trying to find the verbiage that I'm trying to use.
Okay, well, you think about it while I talk.
It's not going to come to me. I thought you were going to vibe with me here.
No, I'm not vibing with you at all.
Okay.
So one of the episodes, they're talking about Bandit getting fixed, as in like getting his not tubes tied. What is it? A vasectomy?
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's exactly the episode that one of the episodes they were referring to.
Yeah. So there in the Australian version, they talk about getting a vasectomy. In the American version, they talk about something else, and it's stupid. I'm like, why can't they just not talk about a vasectomy?
Yeah.
Or the other one was they show like a dog on the toilet in the Australian version, and apparently they can't do that in the States for some stupid reason.
God.
I don't understand.
That
I
is
hate
so
America. Like
weird.
I hate how we like American television has to be so filtered like that, especially on Disney's end. I'm like, come on now. Like, what's it matter if you? Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into this because I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole of
let's
stuff.
move on. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about with Bluey?
No, but I love the show. It's so cute, and like I would watch it even like without Grayson.
I know it's sad because there have been several times where we have watched something so much with Grayson, and I'm grateful because it's something like I actually enjoy, like The Incredibles, where I'll have a day off and he's at school and I'm doing my thing, cleaning, doing other, whatever stuff. But when I sit down to eat lunch, I'm like, oh my God, do I want to watch The Incredibles right now? No, you need to watch a grown-up movie right now because you're not ever going to get this chance again.
Yeah. No, I legit would watch, like, after the podcast, like, I would legit watch Bluey right now. It's so bad to say, but it's so, like, it is so relatable to parents. And, like, God, there's so many things. I mean, some episodes are, like, more Bingo and Bluey, like, just being a kid with imagination. But, like, the one, like, Bandit always is, like, the funny one.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's such a good show.
Yeah, I agree. It's just such a great show.
And I'm glad, like, it's on Disney and we can watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, oh, man, I've heard about this show and it looks really dorky.
I agree. I thought it looked stupid.
And then I saw someone on TikTok like, oh, you got to watch Bluey if you haven't gave it a chance. Like, the kids really love it and it's fun. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And I was like, yep, this show's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
So let us know what you guys think about Bluey.
Our listeners probably haven't watched Bluey, but you should, especially if you've
got kids.
If you have kids, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for today? I just briefly wanted to talk about a couple of the podcasts that we're going to have coming up in the coming weeks.
Yeah, why don't you just do that? Because I don't have anything major other than She-Hulk coming up.
Okay.
Which we'll probably try to have a podcast for Friday.
Yeah, I agree. So I just want to kind of wrap it up because I've been up since 4.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we have a lot of content coming up shortly. Obviously, like we talked about at the beginning, the She-Hulk series is dropping its first at least one episode on Thursday, which for you guys will be tomorrow. So we'll record our podcast Thursday after we get to watch it probably a couple of times, and we'll have that out this week. And then we also have to do our top 10 favorite things at Hollywood Studios and our top 10 favorite things at Epcot.
Which one are we going to do first?
I don't know, because Epcot is one of my favorite parks and Hollywood Studios is one of your favorite parks.
I think we'll have to do a coin flip.
Yeah, I think Hollywood Studios is going to be more challenging because they have changed so much since we've been. And even like Slinky Dog Dash, we didn't get a ride even though it was open because the wait time was so crazy. But they've got Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. They've got whole Star Wars area.
I think we just need to do Epcot first.
Yeah, I agree. We'll probably do Epcot first, but we can still talk about Hollywood Studios. And then, are we ever going to do our Star Wars rewatch podcast? that's up in the air. We got so much stuff going on right now.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, when we get, like, more Star Wars content to do that.
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, when Star Wars is more relevant.
Mandalorian season 3?
Yeah, or whatever. Andor
is coming out on September 21st, right?
Yep. So we can start talking about, because that'll tie in. That happens after the sequel trilogy, leading into the original trilogy.
So our Star Wars rewatch podcast TBD.
Yep.
But I would like to eventually do that.
TBD.
We maybe get there someday. And then also what was I going to say?
Did you get that reference? TBD. From The Office?
My brain is moving at half speed.
Oh, okay.
And that's, anyway. And then I was kind of thinking we could talk about our favorite Pixar shorts.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, like maybe like our top 5.
Yeah.
Or more, depending on on how many we want to do.
Yeah.
Have to make a list of all of them, but Pixar has some amazing shorts. So
yeah.
And if you haven't, just blanket statement, if you haven't watched any shorts on Disney Plus, you should.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're actually really entertaining, and it's a nice break from like a time commitment.
The Pixar short with the most shorts is definitely the Toy Story stuff.
Yeah.
So like if your kid is like our kid and watched 1, 2, 3, and 4 Toy Story movies a dozen times, and you're like, I need a break from all these Toy Story movies, there's like a handful of great shorts that you need to watch.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but I thought we could do a podcast on that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty much it as far as what is coming up in the near future, right?
Yep.
I mean, we've got She-Hulk that's going to be releasing on a weekly basis, so we'll try to keep up with that. It's really challenging when they have a show that drops every week, but at least this time we'll just have one show.
Yeah, until Andor comes out in a month. In 6 weeks. Well, I guess that might actually work out perfectly because
we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. God, that sucked when Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel were coming out at the same time.
Yeah, on Wednesdays.
Yeah. That was rough.
Yeah, and it's silly.
So I hope
silly because it's like you're talking about watching a TV show, but when you are excited about a podcast and the notion of like getting something out there in a timely manner that is of somewhat of a good quality, and you work that day all day, and then you come home to chaos, and it's like,
oh no, I get it.
It's like you really want to prioritize that, but sometimes you just can't.
No, I totally get that. You're just like, because you're like, do you want to do a podcast? And I was like, I'm a little tired, but yeah.
Like today?
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed to get one out.
But
I'm definitely tired too.
Yeah. So we're going to go watch the 3rd episode of I Am Groot real quick. So you can watch it, and then we're going to go to bed.
I was going to just go to bed.
But yeah, go ahead.
We can watch it in bed.
Closing statements, please.
Thank you all for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I kind of like these episodes that are less structured and just kind of flowy. It seems super fun to me. I would like to listen to this kind of thing. If you do enjoy it, make sure to give us a rating on whatever platform you are listening. Subscribe if that's an option. Follow us on Instagram at Beyond the Ears Podcast. It is going to be linked in the video or podcast description. Share with your friends. We are obviously still super new, pretty small, but we're excited about the future, and we're going to keep pumping out these episodes for you.
Yep. So just like us on all the platforms, and your support really helps us.
Yeah.
In any way.
Yeah.
Comment, like, Sure.
I will say this is related. So we are at 99 subscribers on YouTube, which to a big YouTuber is basically nothing, but that's kind of like your first milestone when you start a channel is 100 subscribers, and then it feels like you've done something. So we're going to keep at it. The next big milestone is like 500, then 1,000, and so on and so forth. I think we're going to get there eventually.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, we will catch you guys on Friday for the She-Hulk episode 1 podcast. So see you then.